Welcome back to the Jack channel. This week is an interesting one. No reaction commentary. This is something I never expected. See, a couple months ago, I got a random email from one of my old teachers from my secondary school, which for Americans is kind of like somewhere in between middle school and high school. You basically go there from the age of like 11 to, in my case, 18. But they shot me an email and asked if I'd come in and give an assembly for their careers week, which firstly is just weird to have what I do considered to be a career that other people could do. Like, I know that's technically true, but this still sometimes feels like a hobby to me, so it was weird. And I suppose having them acknowledge it as like something they would want people to know about in the school is also weird as well, but I was very flattered. So I traveled all the way up to Mansfield. I went back to my school and I did an assembly that I planned out and I made a PowerPoint presentation for and everything. And I figured you guys might want to see it because some of you might be in school and some of you might want to be a YouTuber as well. And I figured, you know what? Not many people have ever done like a careers insider as to what YouTube is, or at least not that I've seen. But essentially, here is my talk on how to be a YouTuber and what you might want to do in school if you are in school and want to be a YouTuber. But even if you're older, there's a lot of skills I talk about that are completely transferable into, you know, adult life. And of course, there's some Q&A that should hopefully answer any questions you might have and also make you laugh because some of them were interesting. Anyways, if you enjoy, subscribe. I'll just get on with it. Hello, I am Jack Manifold. Good. The last lot didn't laugh and it was really awkward, so I'm glad. You please continue to do that. Anyway, I am a YouTuber. I have been for 5 years, but 5 years ago when I first started, I was still here and I was still at this school. Now, who in this room has considered being a YouTuber or trying it, or not even a YouTuber, just anything on social media? Throw up a hand, like if you have thought about giving it a go. There's a few of you, and that's fine. I think there's probably more, and some of you are just shy about it, which is fine, because I was shy about it when I started. But even if it isn't a top choice for you, even if it's never really crossed your mind, I think there's a lot of people that have the misconception that being a YouTuber is like running away to the circus, right? It's something people think they can do if it all goes wrong. And that's not your guys' fault, all right? They did studies to see what kids these days want to go on to be, and 30% of them in the UK and the US wanted to be YouTubers. It's a really common misconception that a lot of people think they can do it very easily. And that is, truthfully, because of these morons, I would say. Like, it's probably idiots like that that convince people that we're all stupid and that it's really easy to do. It's not. I'm not saying you have to be a straight A student. You don't have to have all 9s. You don't have to, you know, be the top of your class to do what I do. I'd be lying to you if I said I was. But there are skills that are needed to do what I do that if I didn't come to this school and learn some of those skills, I wouldn't be able to be doing what I'm doing. This is me, my first day of year 7. I was here from year 7 all the way through to 6th form. I started in 2013, I left in 2020, and I did, for GCSE, history, computer science, triple science, DT electronics, and then obviously I did your classic maths, English language, and English literature. I got 5 grade 9s in the sciences, computer science, and maths. I got 6s in English and history, and I got an A in electronics because it was that old and they didn't have numbers yet. Then I went on to do 6th form, and I did computer science, physics, and maths, in which I got an A star in the first 2 and an A in the last one. So I did pretty all right in school. But that isn't the thing that was very, very important about this. It was the skills I learned in doing them and trying my hardest and learning that work ethic. But that's not to say that these qualifications are unimportant, because one big thing that they gave me was opportunities. Now, I started streaming right as COVID hit. It actually kicked me out of 6th form early. I was supposed to graduate in May, I believe, of 2020, but I got kicked out in March. At this point, I'd already started streaming on Twitch, and I was already streaming to just a few people. I want to say 10 to 20, nothing serious, but there was a few people watching. And that moment of getting kicked out of school was, for me, actually quite a stroke of luck, because it meant I could carry on streaming at home and I could finally dedicate time to something that I wanted to do. However, the only reason that I was able to give my all to this and feel confident in doing it is because I had a backup plan. Because I'd done all right in 6th form and I got on my grades, I was able to apply for a degree apprenticeship in software engineering. That's actually the wrong point. I'm supposed to say, was it all luck about me becoming a YouTuber? Yes, it was. I got very, very lucky. I mean, COVID hitting at the time it did, right as I was getting into it all, is incredibly lucky, and I'm very aware of that. However, luck is just a combination of 2 things: preparation and opportunity. Now, you never know when in life opportunity is going to come. Opportunity rises when you least expect it. But if you are prepared at any moment to strike that opportunity when it arrives, you can get very lucky, as I did, and something can blossom. That's what I want you to mainly take away from this. But my preparedness came from being at this school for 2 reasons. As I was about to say a moment ago, one of them was that I had my grades from my A-levels and I was able to secure a degree apprenticeship in software engineering. So as I started streaming, I was also working, that's a picture of Mr. Beast. There it is.
But I had my degree apprenticeship that I was training in to learn software engineering. And this for me was the backup option because like Mr. Beast, here we go, some people try at YouTube for years and years and years. Although he's the biggest now, he tried, I believe, for 5 years with absolutely no luck. And he put his all into it and he got nothing. He made no money, he had no followers. He was just someone who was really, really trying at something. And that's all well and good, but you need to pay bills and you need to have a living and you need to progress your career. And my issue was, what if I'm like Mr. Beast? And I spend 5 years trying this thing and it goes nowhere. I need something to be able to do because I was 17 going on 18 and I needed something. I couldn't just be in sixth form forever. So the degree apprenticeship gave me the opportunity to get a degree in software engineering, as well as giving me a 9-to-5 job that I could rely on to pay my bills, pay off my car insurance, all these different things, so that I could actually keep living, and it gave me the time that I needed to try at this opportunity. I was grateful and very thankful for the fact that it happened very quickly for me, and I was only in the degree apprenticeship for a couple of months before YouTube got to the point where I was able to make a living doing it, and I had tons of great opportunities, and I've been very, very fortunate. However, it's still to this day that I need the skills that I learned in this school. I still, right now, make all the thumbnails for my videos. No one else does it, I do it myself. Every single one of these was made by me in Photoshop. Now, I have never had any formal training in Photoshop whatsoever. The only way I learned how to use Photoshop at all is in year 8, being taught by that guy. He's the only person that has ever taught me how to use Photoshop. And to this day, I still use it professionally. And the thumbnail of a video is one of the most important parts. If you don't have a good thumbnail, no one's gonna click on the video, no one's gonna watch it. If it wasn't for the skills he had taught me, I would not be able to do all this. So I have him to thank, but don't tell him because it will go to his head. Please don't tell him that I have him to thank for this. Anyway, we also, as YouTubers, all have teams surrounding us. It's a very big misconception that I just sit at home and do it all by myself. I have editors, I have channel managers. Sometimes, occasionally, I lied a minute ago when I said I do all the thumbnails. Sometimes I get very busy. So sometimes there's people that do the thumbnails for me. I have researchers, I have agents that help me get brand deals. There's all sorts of people that work around me to make what I do possible. Although no one ever asked me for my qualifications when I became a YouTuber, there are people within this industry whose qualifications matter a ton. What they learned in school and the bits of paper that say they are proficient in this skill are important to us when we're hiring. So even if you don't necessarily want to do what I do, this is still a huge industry. As I say, Mr. Beast earlier, he's now the first YouTube billionaire. You know, like there's a lot of people who are very successful doing what I do. And if you want to get into that industry, which is now up and coming, qualifications are important. Just to name a few skills that might be important doing things that I do, you can do drama. It's a great way to learn how to perform. I mean, like 90% of what I do is talking and delivering information. Drama is a great way to work on that presentation, as well as the fact that like I've been on tours of like the country, and if I hadn't done any drama at all, that would have been really hard. Like I've done stage shows, and if I didn't know what I was doing, those would have been really awkward. Finance is very important. I'm the only person in charge of my money. I'm self-employed. When I started being self-employed, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't do finance at school. So that's an opportunity you can take. Because if you ever get to the point where you are in charge of your own income, it's very important to know what you have to do. For example, filing tax returns. You get in a lot of trouble, turns out, if you don't pay your taxes. I'm just gonna not speaking from experience or anything, but it's important to do that, and so on and so forth. Managing money is something that I wish I knew more about when I got into this, because I didn't know. Business as well. I run a business. I have staff. There's people I need to look after, and I need to be a good boss and know how to operate a business. And it's something I'm still learning, because it's not something I expected when I thought I was going to be a YouTuber, but it is a skill that I need, and it's invaluable. And if I'd studied that subject here, maybe I'd have had a better idea, and it would have came a lot easier, because I can tell you it didn't. IT is obviously incredibly important. I work with computers all the time. I'd say 90% of what I do is with computers. Knowing how to use cameras and computers. If any of you have ever tried live streaming, for example, you'll know about OBS, which is like the live streaming software we all use. If I didn't have an idea of how to use computers and being computer literate, I would have really struggled to use that software and wouldn't be able to get my start all the way back in 2019. As well as that, maths is one of the most important skills, and you really wouldn't expect it. YouTube is all about analytics. It's all about understanding where your views are coming from, which thumbnail is getting more clicks, and this is all demonstrated to you in graphs and numbers, and if you can't analyze that data, you have no chance of being able to figure out what's going to work. If I didn't know maths, I would be screwed. And that's the case with most YouTubers. I would say all the biggest YouTubers, all the people, the Mr. Beasts of the world, are all better better statisticians than they are creators. They know tons about trends and numbers. This is a blank slide. That's because I have a video for you, but it isn't embedded properly. I, as I say, have staff that work for me, and I figured some of you won't be interested in what I do. Not everyone wants to stand in the limelight, and that's completely fine. It's not for everybody. But there are jobs in this industry for everybody, and they're still very creative, very fun, and there's tons of them going that people don't know about. So I've got a little message from my editor, Lily, that I'm gonna show you, which speaks a little bit about what she does.
Hi, my name is Lily and I work for Jack as his video editor. As a video editor, I cut down footage, add visual effects, color, music, subtitles, and more. All of this is done to make the video as enjoyable as possible to watch as a viewer. You'd be surprised. Most of the 20-minute long videos you watch are actually cut down from around 2 hours of footage. I've been working with Jack for around 2 years now, but I actually started editing a long time before that. I took film and video classes regularly in school and loved making my own projects using programs such as Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects. I'd highly recommend joining any video production classes in school if you have any interest at all in the subject. Not only do you get to learn the basics of all parts of the video making process, but you'll find like-minded people to make cool stuff with. Really, my love for editing came from watching YouTubers growing up. I always loved the comedy and fun of it all, but was nervous about being in the spotlight and becoming a YouTuber myself. For me, being an editor for a YouTuber was the perfect middle ground. I get to help create these videos, add in my own jokes and twists to the edit, while still being in the background. If you feel the same as me, I definitely recommend looking into editing and seeing if it's something that looks interesting to you. Thanks for listening.
And that's just one of the roles that exist around YouTube. There's plenty of more behind the scenes roles that use different skills. Editing isn't for everybody. It's definitely not for me. That's why Lily's got a job. And there's so much that you can try. And these jobs are always available. I think people don't realize that we're always hiring. Everyone needs people. So if I could encourage anything, selfishly, it's that if any of this interests you, please do look into it. There's some very good jobs in this space. But anyway, I figure some of you probably have questions, and I'm not gonna take up any more of your time without answering what you wanna know. So please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask now. Yes? Was I in trouble? Not really, no. With this, and everyone I know who does this, not everyone is super academic. Like, I did quite well, not everyone did, but the one thing they all did was really try. I think that's really important. Effort really pays off in any space, especially in this one, because no one is telling you what to do. So being self-disciplined and knowing that, like, at the end of the day, knuckling down is the only way you're gonna get anywhere is the best thing. So I didn't really know, and I would encourage not.
Do you try to find a job before you do YouTube?
Yeah, I would say the way to start YouTube is to try it as a hobby first. See if you enjoy it, do it for fun, and then still have some other thing, like whatever else you want to do, try that as well. And hopefully, at some point, YouTube will get to the point where it's like, oh, this actually can be more of a hobby. I'm earning a little bit of money from this. But I would say it's always important to have that safety net, because it's something that you never really, it's unpredictable. How much do I get paid per viewer? Okay, that's a good question, actually. So the way it works is you get paid in what's called CPM. So that stands for cent per mile, I believe. And what that is essentially a number that is different for every YouTuber, and it's all to do with how ad-friendly you are. So that's like if you swear a lot, like your ad rate's gonna go down. And if you maybe cover controversial stuff, your ad rate goes down. But if it's like quite family friendly, it goes up. So everyone has a different CPM. It's usually in the range of like £2 to £8. And the CPM basically means for every 1,000 viewers, you get paid that much. So say I have a £2 CPM. I get paid £2 for every 1,000 viewers that watch a video. So per viewer, you get paid like, what was that work out to? 0.2 of a penny or something? It's not very much. It's like per one viewer isn't worth very much. It's only as they start adding up that you sort of start seeing money. Yes?
Can I tell you my favourite video?
Can you tell me your favourite video? You can tell me your favourite video.
Do you know when you got your parents to watch Brain Rot?
I did get my parents to watch Brain Rot, yeah. You like that one? It's solid stuff, thank you. I'm glad you like that one, because I don't think they did. I don't think they enjoyed it. Go for it.
Does a view count as someone who watches the entire video, or they just click on the video for like 1 listening?
That's a good question, and I can't give you a 100% certain answer because I'm not even sure myself. As far as I'm aware, it's just a click. But, so the CPM thing, it's an estimate. So if a viewer watches more of the video, they watch more ads and you get paid more. The CPM is just sort of an average. So it's also to do with the watch time. So depending, if someone watches an hour with their one view, you're going to get more than if they watched 5 minutes with their one view. Does that make sense?
What's your favourite video from Average Harry?
What's my favourite Average Harry video? That's a great question. God, we got average Harry fans in schools these days. Sorry, I'm just getting excited about that. Harry will be well chuffed. It's bad if I say one of the ones that I'm in, isn't it? But it probably is. I enjoy filming with Harry. I don't know, maybe the Facebook Marketplace one. Go on. How do you promote the videos? Great question. So, there's two sides to this. One of them is, you know, the YouTube homepage. I assume you've all used YouTube. The homepage is ran by an algorithm, and the algorithm looks at different factors about the video. These days, it's quite smart, so it even like analyzes the content. So it's looking at what is that video about, and then it looks at each user. So everyone here who's watched YouTube, you have a sort of flavor profile. Like YouTube knows what you like, and it sort of looks at videos and it goes, this type of person would like this, and it pushes that out to all those people. So YouTube does a lot of the legwork on the promotion. What I need to do is I need to make sure that the title and thumbnail are very good at telling the people watching it, this is what this video is about. And if they can work that out from looking at it, then they're likely to click on it, they watch it. So that's a lot of the work there. But it's a lot of just learning what it is people like. And there's no way of learning that other than trying. You just have to give it a go, and you'll see one video do better than the rest, and you go, okay, why did that one do so well? You learn, and that's where the analytics and the statistics, the math stuff really comes into it. Go for it.
Are you happy with the really
Yeah, no, I'm very happy with it. There's been ups and downs, absolutely. And I think there's been times where I felt a bit, I suppose because it all happened so quickly. And the thing is, and hopefully what people take away from this, is there's ways to prepare for this. And like, I think one of the things that I felt like is there's times where it all comes and it's a bit quick and it's a bit overwhelming. And there's been times where I've been like, oh, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. But I always landed on my feet, and it's always went, and I've had some great experiences. So yeah, I would say I'm very happy. Yes? It affects it. I'm fortunate that I got big on YouTube right before I became an adult. So in my adult life, I know no different. I know no other way of being, I suppose. But I get stopped a lot. If I go out of the house, like I'm probably going to get stopped at least a couple of times by someone asking for a picture or something, which is fine. People are really friendly. It's been only a couple of times that someone's been a bit rude. Drunk people. It's like if you go to a pub, you can't go to pubs yet, but when you can, some people get a bit rude when they're drunk, and those people, when they want a picture, can sometimes be intense. But it's fine. My life is fine. I just get stopped a little bit more.
What do you want to do with your channel?
It's a great question. I haven't posted on the main channel now in a year. I took a year away from it because I was getting a little bit, I think that question was bothering me a lot. I think I decided that I wanted to do something different, but I couldn't work out what it was. So I took a year away, because sometimes it's very hard to, when you're in something, look at it from afar. You know what I mean? Like, you have to step back sometimes. So I stepped back, and it's been a year, and I think I've decided that I love film. I love film. I adore it, and I want to make some more stuff that, you know, I'm almost more like a director. Like there's cameras and light. I'm really like these are productions, and I want to do more stuff like that. I think going forward, how good at it'll be, I don't know, but that's the fun of it. You just get to try, and I think that's the main thing I would say with this stuff. Just try things. Your heart will tell you what you want to make. You'll feel it. You'll feel the passion, and making that stuff is the best thing you can do for yourself.
Who's like the biggest video game player you've ever met or played a game with?
Ninja, I think. Ninja was big, right? Is he still big? No, did he fall off? Ninja fell off, okay. Ninja fell off, everybody. That's not, okay. I'll report back. I'll have to break the news to him. Yeah, Ninja was big. I mean, Ninja got like that $50 million mixer deal. He was big at one point, but I don't know. In terms of these days, maybe Jacksepticeye. That's probably a better answer. He's still kicking around, eh?
What's your opinion on Jake's sideburns?
Oh, his sideburns. Look, I mess with the chops. I like them. They're nice. They're, yeah, I don't know, man. He makes some interesting fashion decisions. You can't judge him for them. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, they're all right. They're his look now. I don't think if he got rid of them, it'd be weird.
How much money do you make?
I was waiting for this. You know, year 8 didn't do that one. And I was like, really? Most people want to know. It ebbs and flows. Depends on how many views you got that month. Depends on what brand deals you get. Depends on investments, if you want to get boring with it. You know, there's all sorts of stuff. But at this point, I'm a company. It's my company, and I take what I want from it. But like, the company's earning enough to keep a few people stable. We're making good livings. I won't go into specifics, but we're all right. Is Memulus clapped? No, he's very handsome, like very handsome. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I wish I could, I'd love to joke about that and say he was, but he's not. He's a handsome guy. Irritating. That wasn't like an online, that he's irritating, but I love him. He's like a little brother to me. And there's no one else other than my real little brother that I would allow to be that annoying, and I'd still sort of stick around them. So He's fun. He's very talented. He's one of the most talented people I know. He really just gets it in a way that other people don't. It's very natural to him. But yeah, he's interesting. The camera is currently recording. It'd be weird if I just had it there. But yes, it is. I'm filming the Q&A. Don't worry, none of you guys, you'll just be anonymous voices. It's just filming me. You'll be fine. Yes?
Was it a difficult decision to step out of a job that is really well respected and step your job into something that's quite uncertain?
Yes, absolutely. There's a tough decision to make. And I wouldn't have done it if my mum and dad sort of weren't also there and supported that decision. But at the point where I made that change, I've been working the job for a while and I'd also been making money from what I was doing. And it got to the point where I was making a lot more money in the sort of 2-3 hours I was spending in the evenings doing this than I was in the 8 hours of doing the job. And that then started coming to the point where it's like, well, it feels like if I could put the 8 hours into this, it will only go up. It was at a point where it felt safe. But I suppose never really is. Like, it could disappear any minute, even for me now. So yeah, it was still a tough decision, but I had a lot of people around me who supported it, including even my old job. They were very supportive of the idea as well. And I think if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have had the confidence to do it off of my own back. So that was very important. Go.
Do you ever think you're just like really unlucky because our mates end up being not very good people?
Yeah, so I did. So yeah, last year it turned out that a lot of people that I had been friends with were not great people. This was tough. That was a really hard thing. I think people forget that a lot of the time when we're friends online, we're also actually friends. So I guess a thing you don't often get in the normal adult life is sort of exposés on your friends being bad people. Your friends might be bad people and you'd never know. And I think having that aired out is a very difficult experience. So yeah, I did get quite unfortunate. But I think it's the nature of the industry that bad eggs are sniffed out. When you're in the public eye, you undergo a lot of scrutiny. People really, they like to judge everything you do. And if you start doing bad things, people will care about that. Yeah, and it just so happened that a lot of people that I knew were doing a lot of things behind our backs. Go.
So, last year you made a video where you became a girl.
Yes, I did.
What gave you like the urge to do that?
No, it's a good question. Why did I do it the first time? I've done it a few times. This is the spoiler. It's happened a couple of times. The first time was for money. I think it was like a donation goal. Like if we raised enough, I would do it. And then the second time, I got approached by a man named Vladimir. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar. Some of you will know who he is. Who's quite, when he isn't dressed as a woman, is quite a big fella. Like, and quite an intimidating fella. He was actually dressed as a girl when he came up to me. This sort of very hench woman sort of came over to me and in his quite thick Russian accent was like, "You will become a woman." And I sort of was like, yes, all right, yeah, I will. And it was sort of, so maybe it was force. I think it was like brute force that caused that. So yeah, that's what I put that down to.
Was you expecting to blow up or was it kind of random?
No, I never expected to blow up. I recognized when my opportunities came. I was trying it, and when opportunities came along, I went, I should take this seriously because this could be something. But I never at any point was like, I never knew. But deep down, I had that drive. I think you've got to have that belief in yourself, even if it feels silly. Like, you've got to believe deep down somewhere that it can happen. Otherwise, you won't work for it. I think that's the thing. As much as, like, you get very lucky a lot of the time, but you have to work on that luck. You have to work against it. You might get lucky, and if you don't work, it'll just disappear overnight. It's keeping it up afterwards that's important.
I'm doing things now, and I've got like, I don't know.
My advice when you're first starting out is to make sure you're doing something that you enjoy. Because a lot of people, as much as I say it's all about learning about trends, and that is kind of true, I think starting out from a place of enjoyment is very important. People like to watch people that are genuinely enjoying the thing they're doing. And I think finding out what works for you is the first part. And then the second part is figuring out how to grow that. So I think for the start, just keep doing it. Keep figuring out what makes you happy when you're doing it. And then think about, okay, how do I make this grow? And then that comes later and you look at like what's doing well at the time. Like who are you inspired by, for example? You look at them, see what they're doing, try and replicate it. Copying is like the highest form of flattery, people say, in the sense that like doing something similar to someone else is a good way of learning. It's not necessarily a bad thing to copy, if that makes sense, especially in this space. Yeah. I'd say, in fact, collaboration is one of the best ways to grow and learn in this space. Finding other people to do it with and showing off those dynamics and building that like sort of relationship between people is one, really fun for viewers, but also good for you to learn. Advice is invaluable. Everybody, and this goes for school as well, Everybody everywhere in life has something to teach you. Every single person knows something that you don't, has some perspective that you don't. And if you just listen to them and really, really try and grab what you can from it, it's invaluable. So collaboration is a great way to find like-minded people with that good advice. My favorite one of my videos was one time we all went and got hypnotized, and that was really fun because I guess I didn't really believe that it was real, and then I went through it and it definitely was real. And it's like, it's a very interesting experience to be hypnotized. So that was probably the most fun I've had. One more, we got time for one more. Let's go for it. Have I made mistakes on camera? More than you would believe. I've made so many mistakes on camera. There's two things that I'll say about that. One is the best way to learn is to try, and to not be afraid of making mistakes on camera is essential. I have embarrassed myself loads doing this, and I'm gonna embarrass myself a ton more, and it's fine, because I learn. And at the end of the day, people want to see reality, and people make mistakes all the time, that's real. However, what I will say is, thankfully, I have people like Lily to hide most of the mistakes before they go out to the world. But in the case of live streaming, there's nothing you can do. And yes, I've made plenty of mistakes.